Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Marvin again, back with some more music reactions, and welcome back to Smitty Reacts. And on this video, we're going to be checking out kind of some storytime videos here. This is called the evolution of Poitrine's costumes. I was going through, man, just doing some editing and stuff like that, and this one popped up on my feed, and I was like, you know what? I might as well check this thing out, just to kind of get some deeper lore into the group. That I really like. I really like this band. I'm hopefully gonna be able to see them next month. They're gonna be close enough to me where I can drive out to the show. I'm not 1,000% locked in, but I'm about, I don't know, 75-80% sure that I'm gonna go. So we'll see how that works out. And also, this is almost like an apology video as well, mainly because the last song that I reacted to from them ended up not being a song by them. If you guys seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. It turns out I actually did two videos, or two songs in that video, but the first song that I checked out was not a real song. It ended up being some sort of fan mashup or that sort of thing. And you know what? It still sounded good to me, but at the same time, I got. So it is what it is. But the second video was real from them. It was Abba Abba Hotel, and it was a live performance from them. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about or whatever, pull that video up. It's on the channel. It'll be in my playlist here anyway, but go ahead and check that thing out if you guys want to. But I wanted to check this out here too, mainly because of the thumbnail. Like, looks like it says the costume evolution. It also looks like they kind of going from ashy to classy over here, you know what I'm saying? And all the phases in between. So I'm definitely here to check this out. This video is going to be a little bit longer one. I think this is like 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to try to just roll through it. I don't know if I'm going to pause or that sort of thing, because it's just going to be, I don't think there's going to be any music in here. This is just telling the story from what I understand, but we'll see. We'll check this out. So before I hit start on this thing, of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps my channel grow over here, because we're on our way to 20K. But I can't get there without your guys' support. So go on and share this thing around. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up, man. And we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. This is the evolution of the costumes from the brothers from outer space. Is it Khan and Kek and Khan? Yeah. Anginedepoitrine. Let's get it. Yeah. Links to all sources.
Of course, we all understand that Kun and Klek were born looking this way.
Kun and Klek. So adorned in black and white stripes.
But their look has visibly evolved over the years. So let's break it down and see what's changed.
Okay.
This is a video from Anginedepoitrine's first ever show at Café de Clocher in early 2020. Most of you will already know the story of the origins of the band and how they came up with the look as a cover for performing at the same venue twice within 2 weeks. Apparently the idea for the papier-mâché masks came from what they used to do for gigs earlier for their other band. They used to make some giant papier-mâché structures to be destroyed in the pit. So when they needed costumes, that's where they ended up. They've said their inspiration for the noses was the proboscis monkey. That tracks. I've only managed to find 2 videos and 3 photos from this era, but let's try to unpack what we're seeing here. Let's start with Kun. This first mask is only covering the upper.
Pause real quick. This is Kun. He's got the nose. Even though it's not a nose, it's not a costume. All right.
That tracks. I've only managed to find 2 videos and 3 photos from this era, but let's try to unpack what we're seeing here. Let's start with Kun. This first mask is only covering the upper half of the face, and the beard is strapped on seemingly behind the ears like a face mask. The hat is flat and the dots on it are huge. There seem to be less of a standard dot size, since the dots on the face look tiny and the dots on the jumpsuit are also huge. The jumpsuit looks to be the same one he used later, because there are zippers in the same places and the dots look messy, faded and smudged like they were done in chalk.
What is he?
So it may be.
Sorry, pause. What is he doing with the flamethrower? What's he doing with the torch? Bro going crazy right here, man. What the heck? Kun, come on, bro. You gotta do better.
Also huge. The jumpsuit looks to be the same one he used later, because there are zippers in the same places and the dots look messy, faded and smudged like they were done in chalk. So it may be that they washed them off and painted the smaller ones on this same jumpsuit later. The guitar here is probably the first microtonal guitar that Klek made for Kun. They said in the Guardian interview that Kun painted some dots on the guitar neck while under the influence, I say.
that's interesting to point out. So Kleck made the guitar for Kun to play? Okay. Did he make the double bass guitar as well? Or not double bass, but the double neck? If that's the case, that's crazy that if he was able to make that happen. That's nuts.
The guitar here is probably the first microtonal guitar that Kleck made for Kun. They said in the Guardian interview that Kun painted some dots on the guitar neck while under the influence, I say euphemistically. And that's where the thing with the dots started. And now let's have a look at Kleck's first iteration. Kleck's look hasn't gone over quite as much of a dramatic transformation as Kun's, but his initial form was still different in a few ways before it settled into the style we know today. The main differences are the eyes and what he's wearing. I've only found this one photo that shows his first face in detail. His eyes are big globs with a tiny pupil in the middle. They look grey in this picture, but they might have been white. It's hard to tell. He's kind of just wearing a sheet. Again,
pause right here. It's probably just the lighting or whatever from whatever venue they're at here to kind of make it seem a little different in color. But I mean, it looks white to me from here.
Larger dots. He's worn this later as well on at least one occasion, maybe as a backup outfit, but by the time they started making official videos in 2023, they settled on a uniform size for the dots, and these big ones were not seen again. Then we'll have to do a time jump to 2023 and the official Angine de Poitrine teaser video, because I haven't seen any footage of them from the in-between era. Kun's look has been drastically redesigned with a new full face, and the hat has found its final shape. I feel like the shape of the hat in
Pause. See, that's how you know the money starts coming in. You know, they start getting a little bit more popular, and they say, hey, man, we got to upgrade the act. We can't go with the old, look or whatever. Like, we got to go get a little makeover. You know what I'm talking about? We got to look presentable for the masses.
Redesigned with a new full face, and the hat has found its final shape. I feel like the shape of the hat in the first iteration is what threw me off the most. It makes a big difference. This is almost a fully formed classic Kun look that would only undergo 2 major changes before getting fully updated later. The teaser video from 2023 is the only one where Kun's neck and ears are visible and painted white with dots. It's pretty easy to see why this didn't work so well, because it does leave him looking a bit too exposed, and the dots on the neck seemed to get really messy and didn't look great because of that. Soon after that, some kind of black balaclava was added underneath that made the face stand out nicely. Sometimes in the start, it seemed to have dots on it too, but you can't really tell, and they gave up on trying to do that for the final look. I think it's the type of balaclava that has holes for the eyes and mouth, because obviously he needs to be able to see, and you can see a little mouth peeking out sometimes from certain angles. I expect that helps with breathing and singing under there. The mask and hat are both still made of paper.
Pause. That makes sense as well, because it's like, instead of having to paint your face and all that, especially when you can't really see the face paint anyway, you're going to have the mask on top. It's almost kind of pointless. It's like, why am I going to paint my face and put a mask on top of my face that you can barely tell or whatever? It doesn't make any sense. But it makes sense, like, if you want the mask to be more prominent, you're going to put black stuff behind it. Like, what I was going to do, probably for Halloween, is make a skull mask. And I've got the mask here or whatever, but I was going to do something similar. Like, if I'm doing, like, a Skeletor mask or a skull mask or that sort of thing, you're going to black your face out, and then you put whatever prosthetic or whatever the mask is on top of that. That way you get more of the mask effect, and it adds depth to it versus just, just put a mask on and trying to paint. But anyway, I get the idea. I get the thought process behind why they would do a change like that. And also, hopefully he stops trying to like burn his nose off with that blowtorch. That's pretty funny.
Obviously he needs to be able to see, and you can see a little mouth peeking out sometimes from certain angles. I expect that helps with breathing and singing under there. The mask and hat are both still made of paper, or paper mache in the case of the mask. The nose was initially hollow with a hole in the end, exposing the paper inside. Another quick way to tell if you're looking at Kun's old mask from before the end of 2025 or the new one he wears now is that the old version has the face going over the edge of the hat, whereas the new hat goes on top of the forehead, which makes more sense to me, and also avoids this papery wrinkling issue that the old look had at the front.
So that makes sense
too. At first the eye holes were just big, open and downturned like this. You can kind of see there's some kind of white layer inside as well that doesn't seem like paint on the skin. It seems that the eye holes in the balaclava may have had paint around them as well, to give the illusion of the whites of the eyes being there. Either way, the eyes were much more exposed before the addition of the dollar signs. You could see right inside. Previously, his goatee just had one thick braid, now there's 3. A quirk of this old version of the beard is that it was often bent to the side where the guitar got in the way, but this issue seems to have been mostly corrected with the new beard. It doesn't seem to be quite as rigid anymore. The jumpsuit had a bunch of zippers, kind of like this tactical jumpsuit I found, but not quite. Some of the zippers...
Pause. I need a tactical jumpsuit. I just want one. Thanks for letting me know. Tactical jumpsuit. I know these things were called. Good. Yeah, I like this style right here, man. Like, it's really cool. Kind of letting the band be creative in a way and kind of be able to hide behind their costumes and just let the music speak for itself. And then, of course, lean into the gimmick where they're aliens from a different planet and that sort of thing. But, you know, I'm liking the evolution here and the breakdown of where these, you know, outfits have started up until this point. So, yeah, really cool.
Goatee just had one thick braid, and now there's 3. A quirk of this old version of the beard is that it was often bent to the side where the guitar got in the way, but this issue seems to have been mostly corrected with the new beard. It doesn't seem to be quite as rigid anymore. The jumpsuit had a bunch of zippers, kind of like this tactical jumpsuit I found, but not quite. Some of the zippers seem purely decorative. It's quite obviously hand-painted. The sleeves and pant legs were longer than on the jumpsuit he wears now. He would sometimes cuff the pants, and it seems like the pants being slightly overlong may have been a bit of an inconvenience while using the loafer with his feet.
Right.
He now has his signature white double-neck microtonal bass guitar built by luthier Raphael Le Breton, adorned in polka dots.
Built by who? So not by the homie, but by who? Let me get that one.
He would sometimes cuff the pants, and it seems like the pants being slightly overlong may have been a bit of an inconvenience while using the loafer with his feet. He now has his signature white double-neck microtonal bass guitar built by luthier Raphael Le Breton.
Cringe in my own French pronunciation. I like that. I like the disclaimer they put in there. Sorry, my face is in the way of that. But, you know, watch the video on your own. Just saying. Thank you. Anyway.
The jumpsuit he wears now. He would sometimes cuff the pants, and it seems like the pants being slightly overlong may have been a bit of an inconvenience while using the loafer with his feet. He now has his signature white double-neck microtonal bass guitar built by luthier Raphael Le Breton, adorned in polka dots. You can find plenty of other videos by music people who have analyzed this instrument, and there are a few interviews with its creator. I'm not going into that much detail about it because I'm just talking about the look here. There have been a few visible changes to the guitar, and you can
pause right here. Yeah, let me look at the visuals right here, man. Look at that bass. Look at that guitar, man. The double neck guitar. You have 2 different guitars. You ain't got to switch them out. You don't even need a roadie. You just put that thing on you. You good to go.
Photos of what it looked like in progress in those articles. Okay. From what I understand, this custom instrument was built by joining existing pieces of a bass and guitar together. This part of the bass was clearly not the right kind of style for the look that they were going for, so that part has seemingly been just taped over. You can see tape on the sides of the necks here in the teaser video, marking the frets so Kun could see them better. He doesn't have great visibility.
I called that out. The very first video that I saw that on, I said that. That way you can see it with the with his mask on and everything. Didn't I not say that? Might have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure I said that. All right.
Going for, so that part has seemingly been just taped over. You can see tape on the sides of the necks here in the teaser video, marking the frets so Kun could see them better. He doesn't have great visibility under the mask, so large bright red and green fret markers were added later to make the frets easier to distinguish with his limited field of vision. They seem to be UV painted as well, so you can see them in the dark better. Yeah. I love how these dials are little dice. Another tiny detail that's changed after the music videos is that there's now a pink X right there on the guitar. I've seen this screenshot of luthier Raphael explaining on Facebook that it was drawn on there by some kid and Kern just left it there as a little souvenir.
That's the deep lore I need right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the deep lore I'm talking about. Some kid came up and marked on it. He's like, you know what? Love that. So cool.
I've seen this screenshot of luthier Raphael explaining on Facebook that it was drawn on there by some kid and Kern just left it there as a little souvenir. Kleck's still wearing a formless sheet, but this one has smaller polka dots on it. Funnily enough, the neckline is less neat than in the old costume, and the previous version seemed to have the sides sewn together, whereas this just looks like it was thrown together haphazardly. It seems very impractical for playing the drums because there's not much mobility here, and you can even see a very scandalous sliver of human-toned thigh in this shot. The glittery gold triangle looks stiff and glued on, so it's most likely made of cardboard. You can sometimes see the edges are not even attached and it's trying to escape. Not made to last. The eyes here are a very obvious change from before, but they're still not the pyramid shape he ended up with. These eyes are gold and glittery, but they're spirals protruding out. They're quite small, so it's not a very readable design from far away. The head looks almost the same as before, but some improvements have been made to the nose and lips, which look a bit more put together now, but not perfectly smooth, because that's clearly not the look we're going for here.
Right.
Clegg was originally also going barefoot with leg paint. Again, I can see how this would be incredibly impractical for drumming, not to mention how he's got so much of his legs exposed, and he's got a lot of leg hair.
That's funny. You know what I'm saying? You would think if you're going to put all that body paint on or whatever the case might be, you would like, especially if you know you're going to do it for a while, just cut the leg hair off. Or I'm assuming that he probably just like, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. We'll see. We're going to get there. But yeah, my man got some old hobbit feet, bruh.
Barefoot with leg paint. Again, I can see how this would be incredibly impractical for drumming. Not to mention how he's got so much of his legs exposed, and he's got a lot of leg hair. I don't know if he wore shoes while performing live originally, but I would assume he may have needed to. But for the music videos, he didn't have shoes on. The drums were covered with a polka-dotted blanket from the start, which is both a way to achieve the polka-dotted look without customizing the drums themselves, and it gives the drums a more muted sound that can be a deliberate choice. I don't know how much of the decision to use the blanket has to do with how they wanted the drums to sound, because Clegg will now play both with the blanket and without it. So he has the custom painted drums now, but still chooses the blanket sometimes. It makes sense that carrying just the blanket around from country to country would be easier than carrying the full drum kit, so it may be a matter of convenience that there may be some borrowed drums under there sometimes, but I don't know, this is just speculation.
Pause. Honestly, that makes sense, because like if you're a traveling band, a lot of bands go from town to town, you know, and either borrow a local kit or see if they can get it from like, you know, a local musician or a friend that's along the way. I also know that Guitar Center rents out equipment to musicians as well. Like I met a guy that worked at Guitar Center. I think he was in sales, and not like regular sales. Like we're talking like corporate sales or whatever. And he would talk about, hey, like record labels and stuff would reach out and say, hey, so and so's on tour. They just need to rent some equipment from you guys. Can you guys do it? And he would set that type of thing up. You know, sign the contract work or whatever it is they need to do. So I thought that was really cool that happened. So my guess is that blanket does it's like she's saying, it's a two service item. Like either it's actually used to mute the sound of the drums, which is cool, you know, because you can use that to play around with certain things. But also, like you were saying, like she was saying, to kind of cover over any kind of rented equipment or things like that along the way. Because honestly, like seeing like a big old brand name of a drum that you're just renting out for the night, especially in a group like this, can kind of throw you off of, you know, the visual impact that they're going for, or the aesthetics they're going for that night. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
Still chooses the blanket sometimes. It makes sense that carrying just the blanket around from country to country would be easier than carrying the full drum kit, so it may be a matter of convenience that there may be some borrowed drums under there sometimes, but I don't know, this is just speculation. There was a tiny pyramid on top of the hi-hat, which I find very cute, and I'm sad it seems to be gone these days. Also, in case someone still hasn't noticed, the actual eyes are here. I don't know how you would have come this far and not seen that yet, but I gotta mention that, just in case. Now Clegg's eyes have been changed into these small golden pyramids, and his costume is improved a bit with a belt and what seems to be just ties around the elbows holding the sleeves in place. He's still barefoot in the music videos. He eventually settled on wearing these polka-dotted sneakers and tights. Kun then went through one more
Pause. Sneakers and tights. See, that way you don't have to worry about painting your legs all the time. You don't have to worry about shaving your legs all the time. You definitely don't have to worry about going barefoot on random stages. You know, it makes sense to me. Now, I could see them doing it maybe for special occasions or music video sets a little different than an actual like live performance. But for me, yeah, I gotta wear shoes, especially on a drum kit like that. You turn your feet up.
To his costume before the full revamp, which is the dollar signs on top of the eyes.
I like
the idea they've alluded to with those is that they are now consumer products. And that's pretty much all they've said about that in this interview where they talked with their own voices. The original portraits they used for the teaser were altered later to match their updated look. Kun's portrait that was used for the Volume 1 album cover obviously added color, the chin is shorter, the goatee has been added in, and the hair is a little longer. He also now has the dollar sign eyes in the portrait that appears in the Sherpa music video, despite how he didn't have them yet at the time of filming the video. Clegg's portrait didn't require as many edits, just the added color and the updated eyes.
I like that.
The papier-mâché masks were very fragile and deteriorated over time. This is the roughest I've seen them look, with Kun's face clearly having been glued together aggressively and the rim of the hat trying to crackle and crumble away. Kleck's nose also had many cracks in it. Apparently the masks survived a car crash at some point, which would definitely explain why they got so beat up, but that would have happened regardless, given all the abuse they suffered from all the performing and other shenanigans. Kleck said his old head was really nasty by the end, all filled with snot. That made me realize he truly can't do anything in there if his nose starts running. It's all just going to get in there and get absorbed into the cardboard. Yuck. I would...
Pause, I didn't think about that. Ugh, you kind of locked in there. I'm not in there with you. You're locked in there with me and my runny nose. Makes sense, especially man, you're doing athletic performances every night on that drum kit. Yeah, you're gonna have some snot and some nasty stuff by the time that thing's all over. Ugh.
Kleck said his old head was really nasty by the end, all filled with snot. That made me realize he truly can't do anything in there if his nose starts running. It's all just going to get in there and get absorbed into the cardboard. Yuck. I would not be able to deal with that. Even getting an itch on my face would drive me crazy. Now, I have a couple of pictures of what the heads looked like when not attached. Don't worry, they just shed their old skin sometimes, like reptiles. But if you're squeamish about that, look away now.
Oh, that's not bad. Like, she made it sound like it was gonna be crazy looking. Okay. So yeah, definitely like got the mache underneath. Yeah, you can kind of see the way that thing's constructed. That's really cool though, honestly. Fun fact about me. Me and my friend many years ago built our own bear head. If you ever seen the anime Afro Samurai, I dress up as a character from Afro Samurai that has a giant bear head by the name of Kuma. And my friend, my boy Kevin, and I went and made our own bear head. And it looks similar to that, at least internally. Externally, looks great. Internally, I think it's like a whole bunch of foam and wiring and hot glue. So yeah, I totally understand the struggle right here with what they doing, man. Oh man, that's crazy.
Crazy. Now, I have a couple of pictures of what the heads looked like when not attached. Don't worry, they just shed their old skin sometimes, okay, like reptiles. But if you're squeamish about that, look away now. Okay, you can open your eyes, the danger is gone. And it's time to say bye-bye to the old snotty masks and move on to the modern era. This is where they went to perform in France and needed some less fragile, more portable new outfits, and hence we got the more current look around the end of 2025, November-December times.
Okay.
The overall new look is more neat and purposeful. Like I mentioned before, the brim of Kun's hat now sits on top of the face, and the hat is made out of fabric.
See, this is about when I came in, like as far as like me just like discovering the band and the look that they had, you know, and I'm kind of glad I came in looking at this because it makes me appreciate the older look now, I think, because like just seeing the evolution of it compared to now, like it's really cool. Like
this is also made out of something more durable than paper mache, but we don't really know what exactly. Everything still has a purposeful lumpy paint texture on top to keep that homemade aesthetic. We don't know who made the new masks, and
it could be Warbler would be my guess. Like Warbler, for those that don't know, it's like it's a plastic. But you can use it, you can mold it and that sort of thing, you shape it the way you want to. But it's really durable, it's really lightweight, and cosplayers have been using it for many years. So I'd imagine it's that or something else. But I'd imagine it's something like that they're using that's more durable, holds its shape, and it's definitely something that they can, you know, kind of sweat in and stuff like that if they need to without worrying about it like disintegrating. So I doubt it's paper mache anymore.
Durable than paper mache, but we don't really know what exactly. Everything still has a purposeful lumpy paint texture on top to keep that homemade aesthetic. We don't know who made the new masks, and whoever it is seems to wish to remain anonymous. The new face has more neutral features with smaller, less melancholy eyes and a really tiny mouth with barely noticeable gold lips. The new nose is very boingable, giving Kun plenty of funny nose tricks to do to entertain the crowd. There's no longer a big gap between the edge of the face and where the hair starts. The new jumpsuit is more practical with shorter sleeves that have buttons on them that Kun often likes to keep open on the sides. and hobbit-length pant legs, so nothing gets in the way of his pedaling and knob twisting with those grippers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cleck's look underwent the same kind of streamlining with the upgrade. The head is nicer, a little wider, but basically just an improved execution of the established concept. His eyes are less protruding now, which makes him look just a subtle bit more cute and friendly in my opinion. His tunic is now more of an actually structured clothing item, rather than just straight up fabric that's been shaped into something wearable. It's still...
I like that look, you know what I'm saying? It makes him look more tapered, more tailored. You know, you got that nice, you know, V-line going through, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I definitely appreciate that look, you know, compared to like what it was before. Like she's saying, it's more form-fitting, and definitely like the way that the eyes are set up. Like, it's still funny to me. It's still cool to see the eyes like this, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you know, we still want it to look good.
little bit more cute and friendly in my opinion.
Cute and friendly.
His tunic is now more of an actually structured clothing item, rather than just straight up fabric that's been shaped into something wearable.
Okay.
It's still loose and simple, but it has actual kind of batwing sleeves now instead of being held together with what looked like hair ties before. And he's wearing a golden glittery belt to tie it all together. The tunic is also way shorter now, making his legwork just a slight bit more visible while drumming. There's also now a little extra triangle under the neckline in the back, which is a nice little touch.
That's cool.
In April of this year, 2026, Angine de Poitrine debuted the new light-up versions of their costumes at Club Soda. The triangle and Kun's hat, as well as Cleck's pyramid hat and eyes, are now made out of metallic gold material that allows light to pass through from the inside. The lights are controlled remotely by Tech de Poitrine, who is responsible for lighting for their shows, or whoever else they have as a lighting tech. So, now that we've gone over the evolutionary phases of the outfits, let's talk about the overall style of Angine de Poitrine in a bit more detail. There's something about the very loud, contrasting patterns of tiny polka dots all over everything that is such a great concept. And gold as the accent color is really nice and really stands out. Pyramids and triangles feature heavily in the band's aesthetic. This is probably at least in part due to the Ha-Ha Pyramid Monument in Saguenay, where the guys are from. There's a lot of discussion about what the pyramids and triangles mean and if there are ominous ties to this or that conspiracy embedded in it, as well as accusations of copying other artists like Daft Punk, who have also used the symbol similarly.
Pause right here. So that brings me to a point too, where a lot of people have mentioned that in my comments. I posted a video a while back, you know, just something real fun, whatever I saw, and throw it up on there. And literally the comments are littered with, oh, they're the Illuminati and, you know, 333, because I think it was like a tongue-in-cheek thing where they're talking about their age. It's like, oh, put them together, they're both this and they represent that. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you could also look at the fact that it's like, okay, if people think that the pyramids were designed by aliens, it could technically be them, right? You know what I'm saying? Or the same race of people that came along and built the pyramids. So it kind of makes sense to where it's like, oh, we have pyramids in our aesthetic because we're aliens, we came to Earth, you know, and we have the pyramids on us, but we're also the architects of some of the coolest wonders in the world. So you can look at it, you know, you can look at it from that point of view as well, as opposed to, oh, they're part of the this, that, and the third and represent all kind of craziness. Like, you know, it ain't got to be that deep, y'all. It could be fun. It could be fun.
Monument in Saguenay, where the guys are from.
Okay.
There's a lot of discussion about what the pyramids and triangles mean and if there are ominous ties to this or that conspiracy embedded in it, as well as accusations of copying other artists like Daft Punk, who have also used the symbol similarly. The band hasn't really commented about what the pyramid means specifically, to my knowledge, and they have stated that they mostly want to leave all the lore up to the fans to interpret. They're not that interested in establishing canon explanations to stuff. There are only a few song titles that we know the meaning of, so a lot of things about the band kind of need to be taken with an attitude of, huh, okay, neat, rather than trying to know what exactly everything is supposed to mean. Of course, the large crowds all doing a triangle symbol with their hands and chanting together is a very cult-like thing, and ADP play around with the cult themes intentionally. But truly, it is not that serious. This is a very goofy band where the point is to have fun with it. Sure, it's a bit of a cult, but... I hope you enjoyed this little dive into the history of fashion de poitrine. I've also made a series of compilation videos about cute and funny moments with Angine de Poitrine, so subscribe and stick around for more Angine content if you're into that. I've also got videos coming up about how I made custom action figures of Kun and Cleck, so look forward to that in the near future. Though, Do be warned, I may also make videos about something other than French-Canadian aliens someday, but it is not this day, or anytime soon. This is my life now, and this is what my gaming channel has become. Also, big thank you to everyone who's joined me here on this nail adventure. I can't believe there are already so many eyes on my stuff. I had 14 subscribers here before I made my first Angine de Poitrine video, so I am very grateful, and I'm glad you're having fun with my very silly videos.
Hey,
thank you.
Really cool.
Bye!
No, thank you. I like that video. I like this picture right here. The picture's dope. This is Spectral Snail channel here. Let me do this real quick while I'm here. Subscribe. She's got 2.2 thousand subscribers. Please show this wonderful person some love. Please do that. Let me go and hit the thumbs up button here too while I'm at it. That was really cool. That was a really cool deep dive, really cool, like, you know, research and stuff that went into it. And she definitely took her time and to explain the different looks and the evolution and where they started from. I think that's really neat. I'm looking at the comment here. The original Kun is terrifying. Excellent piece. These guys deserve this kind of stuff. Proto Kun looks cursed. Yeah, some real cursed images going on in here. Oh, this is French. Let's see what this is. This video is a pure masterpiece. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. So yeah, go and blow up this channel here from Spectral Snail, please and thank you. Tell her Smitty sent you. She's not sponsored by me or vice versa. We don't know each other. This is my first time seeing her channel, but at the same time, she did a great job. Oh man, that was a really cool and fun video though, for real. And it kind of gives me a deeper appreciation of the band, just kind of showing where they started at all the way up until now. So I think that's really, really cool. So, all right, y'all. Hey, my name is Marvin. This is Smitty Reacts. Again, I'm sorry for that video where I misinterpreted that song to be a real anginedepoitrine song, and it wasn't. Accept my apology with this cool little reaction to the lore of the band. So, hey, that's all I can say about that. But until the next video, take care of yourself. Be kind to one another. And of course, if you guys can do that, I will catch you in that next video. All right? All right. Peace.